we're just starting to get a real feel for rhythm because I'm starting to talk about feeling downbeats and feeling the pulse and gaining perspective of a whole measure of beats rather than one beat at a time. And what this leads to is a natural feeling, almost speech-like kind of series of sounds, series of beats. Let's do this one again. This goes bum ba 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 bum ba. See, bum ba 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 bum ba bum ba. So that's a natural thing. And if you imagine coming upon some drummer somewhere, and the drummer was making that sound, if you listen to it long enough, maybe you could chime in and just start drumming along. And that is basically, that's the musician's skill, to be able to look at this writing, the sight reading musician's skill, that is, and turn it into an idea, not just bum 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 bum, but to turn it into something with pulse and something that's actually has an appealing value to it, some aesthetic shape. So if you're going to be doing this, I'd suggest instead of clapping from now on, either sound out with your mouth, bum ba 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 bum ba bum ba. Or if you want to tap on the table, keep your fingertips very close to the table at all times, and it's going to be ba 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 bum ba bum ba. See, I can't. I'm trying to tap my microphone, but I've been clapping to make it very clear. But clappings really don't do service to the shape of the pulse and the way in which all the little notes fall into the pulse. They can be a little wooden or flat or dead sounding. You need to have kind of living pulse. Pum pa 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 pum pa pum pa. And this is how you're going to be interpreting music. And you get your head inside of these rhythms, and you look at them on the page. They look rather straightforward, but they equate actual ideas, actual living kind of sounds, speech sounds. Let's do some more of these rhythms and try and get from the writing to the speech equivalent, the real fun stuff, honestly. Okay, so pause, take a look at it for a while, and we're going to jump into it. And remember, this is the first beat. That's the downbeat. That's the strongest one. And all of the others are going to fall into place, and however they sort themselves out, given what they are. This is two eighth notes, a dotted eighth note with a 16th hanging on. This is going to be weaker than this because this is a beat. You'll feel it. You'll get the hang of it. It's a rather human kind of psychology that we're dealing with when we deal with this rhythm. So it goes ba 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 bum ba ba ra ba 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 ba. It's kind of complicated. Maybe it would be a little bit more straightforward if I finished the fourth beat with eighth notes instead of 16th notes. But in that case, it would be ba 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 bum ba 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 bum ba. But I'm doing from the third to the fourth beat. I'm doing ba 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 ba. And see, where does the strength go? It goes here, and then it starts decaying. It starts decaying. Bum ba 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 ba. And how do these 16th notes hang on to the beat? Sure, they're even. They are even. Each 16th note has its place, but they're artfully and conscientiously chosen to be where they are, exactly how they are. Bum 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 ba. One E and a two and. There's pulse going on. Ba 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 bum ba bum ba 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 ba. Okay, let's do some measures of music here. I think I'm running into the side. 1 second. Okay. Bum 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 ba bum ba bum ba 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 ba. Okay, that's the end of 4 beats. Basically, we've just been doing 4 beated measures. So take a look at this. Oh, whoops. Take a look at what we've got here. We've got 1 and 2E and a 3E and 4. So feel how that pulse, how the energy goes. And the less scaffolding you need, the more you're going to feel the pulse. But, of course, the less scaffolding you require, that means the more you really comprehend how these things work together. Here we go. Bum ba 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 bum ba bum ba 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 bum ba ra ba 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 bum ba. See how this is actually weaker than this. Here's the second and third beat. Ba 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 ba. So from the first beat, bum ba 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 bum ba. So ba ba bum ba. Bum ba 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 bum ba. That's how the pulses come together. Bum ba 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 bum ba. Those dots are not. I don't mean dotted quarter or anything. Oh, by the way, that's a quarter, not a half. Okay. How about let's do some more work with ties. Now ties can get. You have to really master everything without ties before you can feel the pulse without making a sound, without a ba. Let's try. We'll try this first, and then I might amend it. So bum ba 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 ba, right? Bum ba 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 ba. Okay, let's try tying the second beat, the beginning of the second beat, to the second half of the first beat. So now it's bum ba 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 ba. Now you might want to move when you hear this, when you feel this second beat happen, because you're not going to be making a sound, because this is tied to that. You need to do something in your mind to feel this moment, because you can't make a sound. Bum ba 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 ba. I made a sound, but you get me. Bum ba bum ba 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 ba. Okay, let's make this. This gets tricky. Watch this. So I'm going to take off this first 16th notes sound. I'm going to tie it to the second half of the second beat. Actually, I want to get rid of this tie for now. Okay, so what happens here is, this is the third beat. The 3 itself will not sound, but the E and ba 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 will sound. It's going to be like downbeat with nothing, and then ba ba ba. It'll be like ba ba ba. The not having symbolized no sound. Ba ba ba. So putting this into context, it goes bum ba 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 ba. So that's, maybe you've heard rhythms like that, but they're created with the use of these ties. This looks like a dot. That should not be there. Let me get rid of that. Okay, let me get rid of this. I still didn't get rid of it. Okay. So let's do this again. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4, right? Bum ba 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 ba. You've got to feel this shoom right here, but you can't sound it. Okay, let's do. What happens if we tie? Well, if we tie this to this, then that's basically the same thing as. Oh no, wait, bum bum. Oh no, that's good. That's good. Okay. Yeah. Okay, how does this go? So we get to hear the third beat. We get the E. We don't get the and then we get the So it's 3E, bum bum ba. So no and, bum bum ba. So in context, it goes bum ba bum ba bum bum ba ba. See, isn't that nice? How this This last 16th note goes straight into the quarter note. Bumpa. Bumpa, bumpa, bum bum bumpa. Yeah, I think that is the proper way of writing that. I'm trying to think. Am I forgetting something here? But no. Yeah, of course not. Okay. Let's try one more. And this whole talk we're getting into the feeling of rhythm. So it's much more than just decoding. We're turning it into speech, almost as good as speech. Let's try. Okay. Take a look at it. Figure it out. And here we've got our two 16th notes attached to an 8th note. So that's like, that's like bum, ba, ba. Bum, bum, ba. Bum, ba, 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 bum, 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 ba. See how the pulse goes. Bum, ba, 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 ba. Bum, ba. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just to split the quarter note into 4 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Bum ba 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 bum ba ba ba. Let's do some ties here. What if we were to tie this 8th note to the last 16th note? Now it's like we're doing. So we're not gonna get this. The duration of this will last through that. So it's bumpa, bumpa. This goes bump bumpa bumpa. 3E and 4E. Bum ba 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 bum bumpa. Let's put another tie. Let's tie the first of these 16th notes, the beginning of the second beat, into the last part of the first beat, the last 16th note of the first beat. Bum ba 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 bum bumpa. That's complicated, and it takes a little time to look at it and turn it into speech. So the feeling of not getting the second beat, but then getting the three points after it. Bum ba 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 ba, bum ba 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 ba. And the way that this is stronger than this. This goes ba 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 bum ba ba. That's 2E and 3E and. One more time. Ba bum ba 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 bum bum ba. And this is not sounding. Okay.